Hey guys, welcome to Consume the Goodness. My name is Kendra. I'm a certified lifestyle and weight management coach, and this channel combines healthy lifestyle with God's word. I have this thought. It's something that has been very helpful for me. It is in line with this channel, so I thought that I would share it with you guys. Okay, so basically it's just two thoughts that seem simple enough, but they actually do have a pretty big impact. One of these thoughts is something that I have kept in mind for years, and it has seriously helped through so many things and with so many things. And the other thought, the second thought, is relatively newish for me, at least as far as applying it in my own life. The first thought is that nothing that we face ever is a surprise to God. Knowing this and looking forward, knowing that we're headed right to wherever it is that we are supposed to be, getting there might look different depending on the decisions that we make, because different choices have different consequences. But even the poor decisions that we make are opportunities to learn and grow, and even still lead us right where we're supposed to be. Even if we choose to never grab hold of those opportunities to learn and grow through poor decisions that we make, even that is not a surprise to God. Anyway, so there's that thought. So that thought, mixed with some things that are going on with me, led my thoughts somehow to a place of living where I want to be, sort of. Let me see if I can explain this. Maybe you guys can help me realize how or why I connected these two thoughts, because now I don't know. So there was the first thought, and the second one, I guess, was like the living where I want to be, or for example, I'll use just health. I know where I want to be health-wise, so I'm going to live my life like my future self. I think that makes sense. As I'm talking about this, I'm starting to wonder if maybe there isn't an actual connection. Like maybe it isn't so much that there's a bridge connecting these two thoughts, but just that having both of them in any situation is really helpful. And even in the small things, I feel like a lot of times when we think about, especially when it comes to like, I know this is all in God's hands, or none of this is a surprise to God, we usually, like I remember when I very first started to really remind myself of that, like it has become a habit. It used to be something that I only really thought about when really big, like drastic, traumatic things were happening. And then I would hold tight to that. This is not a surprise to God. He knows what he's doing. Whatever, we're supposed to get something from this. This is leading to something. But as the years went on, it just is just something that I do all the time, that I remind myself of all the time, even in the small things. So even when it comes to things like health goals or weight loss, weight maintenance, weight gain, whatever, wherever you are weight-wise and whatever needs to be done for your health. So weight goals, fitness goals, or even the little struggles that we might have with maybe overeating or lack of movement, choosing always in every single moment of free time that we have to just lay around versus get up and move for our physical health and our mental health, or working to break a nighttime snacking habit. Not one bit of anything is a surprise to God, and every bit of everything will be used for his purpose. So repeating these two things and really holding tight to these two thoughts, I have found and am finding it to be very helpful. So we have the first thought. This isn't a surprise to God. That thought, so much comfort and strength and peace can be found in that first thought. Then the thought of keeping an improved me, my goal self in mind. How does that girl eat? What are her habits? How does she live?
Well, she sure doesn't snack at 10 o'clock at night.
These two thoughts can be helpful and can be applied in every area of our lives. I'm using health, weight, fitness, whatever type of stuff as an example, but this can seriously be applied to every area of our lives, the way that we live, our lifestyle, our finances, our relationships, fitness, food, work, everything. Oh my gosh. I think I just thought of a connection. Okay. Maybe there is a connection. Okay, let me think this out because it's popping in my head. Let me try to think this out and see if there actually is something. It's not just two separate thoughts that, when you think of them together, they're helpful, which that is true. But I was trying to wonder if there's some type of connection, and I think that there is, because in any area, We make decisions. Our decisions have consequences, okay? I'm thinking this out. I'm thinking this out with you guys. Okay, so let me just keep going along with the same example that I was using before, like health. I know where I want to be health-wise. Medical conditions, fitness, weight loss, which really is the, health part of it. Because as everybody knows, having a certain amount of excess fat is just dangerous, okay? It's dangerous. It increases the risk of a lot of health problems. Anyway, I'm not even going to go into that. I'll go on and on. Talking about visceral fat and all other kinds of things. Okay, so I have my goals. I have the improved me, the goal me, future me that I'm thinking of. And thinking of, okay, how does she eat? What habits does she have? What are those things? What are the things that are done? I need to be living that way now. Those good habits in all the areas, sleep, fitness-wise, food-wise. Okay, so I'm going to be doing things now, living that way now to be so that improved future me is can be a reality. And, in my control, obviously anything can happen. But, okay, maybe that's the connection part. Anything can happen. Unexpected things may happen along the way. But I'm going to hold tight to that thought that none of this is a surprise to God. And then even in those situations, so let's say that I'm doing something to reach my goal, but then something tragic happens and there's like a bad injury or something medical happens that is almost like a setback. But if I'm reminding myself in that moment that this is not a surprise to God, I know who's holding me, and then finding peace and comfort and strength in that. But then also thinking about, okay, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be in this situation? How do I want to handle this? How do I want to react to this? Am I going to take the opportunity to learn something from this and grow? And then, based off of those thoughts, choose my actions and words accordingly. And then even if I choose poorly, I can learn from it and even still be closer to the more improved me that I want to be. Bam! I think I figured it out. I think I made a connection. Did that even make sense? It really made sense in my head. Like it all just kind of was full circle. Okay, let me just summarize. Let me wrap it up, make sure it makes sense. I'm doing these things to reach my goals. I'm living the way that I want my future self to be. That's how this person would be living. Something might happen along the way, something unexpected. I'm holding on to the thought that this is not a surprise to God. And they're still learning and growing and all that kind of stuff. In between, it all connects. It all makes sense. Okay. In my head, this makes sense and it connects. And I don't know if it does with you guys. I hope that it does. But even if that last bit of whatever didn't, I do hope that the rest of the video did make sense to you and that it was helpful in some way. Let's really try to put effort into and being mindful of applying these thoughts throughout each day. And if you do take these two thoughts and apply them and, start to try to form a habit of doing that, I hope that you guys find it as helpful and motivating as I have. So that's it, you guys, for this week's encouragement. Please go check out the channel members. Thank you guys for being channel members. And also there's a bonus in there. I like to show the channel members, but I also feel like it makes sense to show the people who gift memberships, because if it wasn't for the membership gifters, some of these people wouldn't be able to even be members. So I always want to do a special thank you for the gifters as well. Please check out these channels. They're awesome, great channels, but also great creators. And there's such a variety, there's something for everybody. So check them all out. Consider subscribing to the channels that you enjoyed. And then also a link to our family owned and operated online business is in the description if you guys want to check that shop out and see what you think about that. Yep, that's it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. God bless, and I hope to have you back for the next one.